Hi there folks, welcome back to my channel. I've just popped on to do a quick video, well as quick as I can make it anyway. I've just thought I would make a video of this card, which was the triple embossed tile. I just wanted to show you how I made it. So yeah, so I'm just going to show you how I made this. So it's just it's a base card of 5 centimeters squared, and then I've got a matte layer of black, and then this piece which I'm going to use as the tile. I can't quite remember the sizes, but I will put the sizes back in the description box underneath. I'll put all the things I've used in this video. And so let's get started. So pop that to the side just now, and we're going to concentrate on this little tile here. So I think actually the size of this was 2.5 squared, but I can't quite remember what the increments down the way were. So I've got this stamp set, which I think is still current from Stampin' Up, called Fond of Autumn. It might not be, I'm not entirely sure, but this is the most recent one that I have had from Stampin' Up. So I thought I'd use this because I used that on, this one. So I used a piece of it, this kind of bit here, and just coloured it in with some alcohol paints. And I did use Stays On for the last one, but I'm not going to use Stays On this time. I'm just going to use black memento ink for it. So I've already got my stamp on my block, and I've got the other one, the other little wording, just a note on it as well, ready. And as I say, I've already cut my layers and my base card, and this is the little tile that I'm going to be using. I've put a couple of bits of paper underneath just to keep my glass mat free of ink. And I'm going to be using this embossing powder called Clear Gloss Superfine. So using a clear gloss, not gloss necessarily, a clear embossing powder is the thing to use. And I've got my Versamark ink pad, which I'm going to use as well for the clear embossing, to make the embossing, the triple embossing. So we'll get started. So I've just taken a section of this, this is black already because I used Stays On earlier. So just taking a part of the stamp, not the whole stamp, just a part of the stamp to stamp onto first, just to get, and then we're going to colour in. So I'm trying to decide if I'll take a different part or if I'll just take really the, let's just go for it. So I'll ink this up with black memento ink. I'm just giving it a little bit of a twist as I ink it up, just to make sure all these pieces get covered. And there we go. And then just decide which part I'm going to do. So I think I'm going to go more over this way, and I'm going to go on a slightly slant, but anyway, just to see. So yeah, that's came out quite nicely. Not sure if I want that part, so what I might do is turn it over, and I've got a slight curve on here. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and press that curve out, that curl, because that's just where I've cut it. where I've cut it with the trimmer. So if you ever get a bit of a curl on the edges of your card, you can always do that. Right, I think I'm going to re-ink this and start again, and I'm going to go more for the flowers. So just re-ink that back up, and I'll just go more for the flowers. Now I've got a mark there, but I'm going to be stamping this and then colouring it in, so it won't really matter. So just go for that one. And yeah, I'm happier with that. So that was actually more like the colour, the stamped image I had on the first one that I did. So just wiping that off to keep my stamp clean. And then what I'm going to do is pop that to the side. And then I'm just going to turn this paper over. I want to try and keep a clean surface. So I've done that now, and we're just going to give this a wee dry with the heat tool. So if you've got issues with it being too loud, turn your volume down. Just want to make sure that this is going to be completely dry. So it's going to heat tool up for a few seconds, and then just go over this to make sure it's completely dry before I start putting my alcohol markers on. And that should be fine. So pop that to the side. Just keep that there. Right, so I've just got some stamping up markers that I'm going to be using, and on the first one, that's what I did with them. I used a mixture of pinks and purples and the greens, dark and light. And then I think I did cut it down on that one because I thought it was too big, the tile. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. So I just got a mixture of greens. So these greens are soft, succulent, light and dark. And I think I got the light magenta madness. I had this one which is dark pineapple punch, and then yeah, I think I had some red, but I think I might slightly change it up this time. So what I might actually do is use the magenta madness on the flowers, because the last time I used the purple posy, and yeah, see where I go with that. I'm going to do the yellow first, so I'm going to do the centres of the flowers in the yellow, and just not taking my time too much because of the video, but you know, if you were doing something, you were doing this type of thing, depending on what you were doing inside the tile before you triple heat embossed it, if it was colouring or whatever, just, you know, take your time to do it. As I say, I'm kind of rushing it because of the video. So I've done that, and I want to just quickly do the leaves now. So I'm going to do the dark part of the leaves first, which I did the last time. So I'm going to do a bit dark down all these veined areas, and it will just give it a bit of a contrast when I come to put the light over the top, like that. Same here. Should be using the other side, the finer edge. Just put a little bit over here and some here, just to kind of define that little bit more. There we go. And then I'm going to use the light soft succulent part using the finer nib, just to go over the top quickly. Yep. if I was techie savvy, which I am not, I could possibly, well, I could fast forward this colouring, but I haven't quite worked that out, and I don't know when I will, because I'm really not that technical minded at all. I'm creative minded. It's sometimes nice if it's just a small area of colouring, just to see how, to just see the process and see how we arrive at the final destination, so to speak. There we go. So I think that's all the greenery. So I've got light magenta madness now. There's dark magenta madness. So I'm just going to go in a little bit with the dark stuff at the very edge of these yellow bits. Just because, yep. Just want to go around there like that a little bit. And then take some of these little lines, follow them up with the pen as well, the dark pen. And that can just give a little bit of shadow as well. There. And as I say, normally I take probably a lot more time on this, but because as purpose of the video, I need to do it a bit quicker than this. So I'm just going to use the other end of the light magenta madness, I think, just to, maybe not. I thought I could, but I'll just use the fine end, and then that will save me from getting over the edges and making a bit of a mess. I don't want that. So you can see how that blends in, but there's lots of different alcohol markers out there. You could use Sharpies or I think what other ones there's, Copic ones, Spectrum Noir, I think that's another one. There's lots of different ones you could use, so you don't have to have these ones, particular ones. Just use what you've got. So just round and filling those in. So this is going to be a nice bright one this time. And I'm going to put some, I'm going to use this Calypso Coral one, which is going to be for the tops of the acorns. Like so. It's just not doing a light or a dark here, just going over the tops of those. And I've got some, this one is dark smoky slate, which I'm going to use on the actual acorns. Probably not current colour appropriate, but that's what I'm going to use. And then one more thing is just going to make, I've got some real red, which is light, and I'm just going to do, not that end, I'm just going to do the red berries in that colour. There we go. And then I'm going to pop these away, but I am going to do a little bit of find it very pale. It's dark. What's this one? Very pale purple posy. Now I'm just going to go around the back of that just to give it a wee bit of colour at the back there. Just a wee bit colour. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. Just to give it a wee bit of colour at the back here. I didn't do this in the last one, but I'm going to do it on this one. As you can hear, that pen isn't particularly the greatest pen, which I think it's running out actually. But that's why we're getting a squeaky noise. Might be able to use the this one here. I don't know if that'll make any difference. Slightly here as well. I can just go over like that. It's probably actually better with a bigger brush nib. A little bit there as well. Brush nib, I think, has had it really, but it's still doing what I want it to do, so I'm not too worried about that. Right, I've done that. So the next thing I want to do is pop these pens away. So we're on to our triple embossing now. So if you bring the Versamark pad over, and I always keep a little brush in with my Versamark and on my little, I keep an anti-static, well I've actually got 2 anti-static bags, but I keep an anti-static bag, a brush as well in with this. Now I'm just going to give this a tiny wee wipe with my anti-static bag just for the first time. I won't do it after that, it's just for the very first time. So I've did that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this in to the pad and then move that up. Just pop it in to the pad like so. Make sure it's all covered and then just peel it back. And then just get your powder, pop it over. And then pick it up, and that's your first lot of embossing ready to heat. So I'm just going to pop this powder back in to here, and just make sure I get it all in, because I'm slowly running out of this particular powder. So if you've got a little tray like this is very handy. If you do not have a tray, it doesn't matter, just use your piece of paper underneath to just use that. Right, cover this over for a minute, and then what we want to do is heat emboss this. So bring it back into the middle and pop my heat gun on. Right. And you should be able to see the magic happening, I hope. Don't hold your heat gun too near to the paper or it'll burn, and we don't want that. There we go, that's our first lot. So you can see that that's now nice and shiny. So we'll give that a few seconds just to cool down. It has gone a bit beveled, but that's okay. Just give it a wee pull back. And then we want to do that again. So we want to do this 3 times. So we want to open our ink pad, our Versamark ink pad, being a sticky ink pad. We want to make sure that that's cooled down enough. And it has. And then we can pop that back into our ink pad, our sticky clear ink pad. There we go. And when we're happy that we've got the VersaFine on all the pieces, even the edges, we can do the same thing again. So pop it in, cover it with embossing powder. To make this tile. There we go, pop that to the side, pop this back into the little tub. Again, I'll just take a second to do that. Just make sure we got all the powder in. Here we go. Put the lid on that again, the lid on this, and we can heat emboss it again. So back with the heat tool. Use your pokey tool to stop it from flying across the place. And oh, there it is flying there. No, come back, come back. What's there, naughty? Go. And there you can see that shining again, hopefully. You can see that, yeah, you can. So that's how it gets nice and shiny like that. And just give that a few seconds just to cool down. Just hold it at the very edges and just wave it about for a few seconds. And then it's cooled down by the time you've got your next third heat emboss. So this is our third and last one, so it's cooled down enough. Yep, so pop it into your sticky ink again for the third time. It's always good to just seal it for the third time. I mean, you could do it on 2. I think doing it 3 times gets it more powder on it and gets it completely sealed again. So pop that away this time because we won't be needing it again. Pop that in your tray and cover it with your embossing powder. Just make sure it's completely covered with plenty embossing powder. Go and pop this back in, and then oh, I've missed that there. I missed the tray there, not the tray, the pot. Dearie me. Never mind, I'll sort that in a second. If I can just get this onto my table. Waste not, want not. Back into the tree, and then I can deal with that shortly. Right, last bit of heat embossing, and then we can put our card together and stamp our sentiment on. Right. and that's our tile. So I think that's pretty special. It's pretty good. Take these away because they're covered in embossing powder. I'll bring this card back in so you can just see if I can get this piece of, I'm covered in embossing powder. Let's just wipe my hands for a second and wipe that away. Right, that's better. So just bring this piece across because it's clean. So that was our original card. And we've got our card base and our matte layer. So it's just a case really of putting these together and popping our card together. So what I need to do is get my wet glue and just pop some glue on the back of this tile. I have got another idea for this tile which I might come back on and do. I've just thought of which might be quite good to do as well. So I'll pop on with another video at some point with a similar thing. I'll probably do the tile pre part of the video, and then I can show you what I would propose to do with it. So just watch that. It doesn't come out onto your black card, that's the only thing. But if you've got a glue rubber, it's pretty good because then you can get rid of the gluey marks, especially on darker card like black and dark blue type colours. Just give that another wee burnish down. Now I have been doing a lot of drawing and things now because I've also been doing some doodling and stuff, so I would like some feedback about if anybody would be interested in seeing a video on how I do my kind of doodling. It's just kind of doodle art and sort of Zentangle-y type stuff. So if you'd be interested in something on that, some comments and feedback would be much appreciated, because I think I would do something with that as well. So that's our tile. It's on a slightly bigger border than this one, which has a much smaller border. So we'll just add this onto the front now, and then I can pop my sentiment on and our card will be finished. Okay, so just gonna decide which way. I think we'll probably just keep it that way. So just find a sort of center point and then just hopefully that's in the center. Pop it down. Hopefully it's straight. I think it is. It looks pretty straight to me. I just always like to give it a wee burnish on the back. And then I'm just going to pop on my my sentiment. So I'm just going to use Memento ink again. I could have used a nice pink or green, but unfortunately I don't have that on the table, so I'll just go with black. So it's the same thing, just a note. So there's a few wee bits here that are poking out that I'm not liking, but so we'll just pop this just a note. I'm just going to do it slightly off to the right hand side, like so. There we go. And yes, I did. So this was my this is my glue rubber, and I would thoroughly recommend that for craft making because you don't want to get gluey marks. And if you do get gluey marks, this is the this is the thing that will help to get rid of them. So yeah, thoroughly recommend that. Now, I just want to put a couple of little embellishments on, and then we'll be done. I'll put that to the side, and I've got a few little embellishments here. These are Stampin' Up. I think they are retired, and I just want to actually go with the brighter pink ones this time. So they're just the smaller ones, and I'm just going to go with 3 because 3 is a good number in crafting choices. If I can get that one, it's gone away. It's doing a runner, and I'll do one up here. And that is my card and triple heat embossing to make a lovely tile. So, well, thanks for watching, and feedback on the drawing thing would be fantastic. And please give me a thumbs up if you've liked what you've seen today, and please share away with your crafty friends who you think might like this as well. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.